Hey y'all, hey, I'm here with another video. So, before I even get into what I need to get into, I always start any of my videos about Nicki Minaj off like this. If you are a barb that does not like when Nicki is criticized, I'm gonna give you the time to leave now. Do not get in my comments. I don't care what you have to say, to be quite frank. So, if you are a barb that does not like when Nicki is criticized, I'm going to give you the option right now in the first 30 seconds to click off my video. So we're going to give you a couple seconds. Okay, we're not even finished the whole Jeopardy song. You're done? You're good? Good. So going forward here, if you don't like to hear Nicki be criticized, you might as well get off, because whatever you put in my comments, I promise you, I don't care. I don't care. And you will get blocked if you are disrespectful. Okay? Cool. So, we're here to talk about Pink Friday 2. Okay? I have not said too much about Nicki in a little bit. She's been doing stuff. I just have chosen to be quiet. Because I said, you know what? Regardless of everything she's doing, I'm gonna wait till the album comes out. We're gonna get into it song by song. We're gonna get into some of the things I think about the aspect of the rollout of this, the singles behind it, the marketing behind it, just how I think all of this has gone. If I compare just the rollout of this to Queen, which was her last project, I will say this didn't have as much murmur, I guess, around it as Queen did. But to be quite honest, Queen's rollout was trash, and Nicki even admitted to that. Queen's rollout was trash simply because it was surrounded in so much like nonsense, her going back and forth with Cardi, it was just a lot of nonsense around Queen. Now that it's been a couple of years since Queen, it's still not my favorite Nicki album is the Pink Print. Queen, it's an okay album. It's not as bad now that more time has passed. It's not as bad as it was when I first listened to it. So yeah. So before I wanted to give this album some time to sink in, because the thing about albums now is the minute that people want to be the first person to say something about an album. Y'all don't care about letting it sit with y'all for a little bit. Y'all don't care about none of that. So it's been pretty much about a week now since the album has came out. I've sat with the album. I've listened to it multiple times. And my opinion might change as time goes on. And if it does, I'll come back and redo a video on it maybe in a couple of months. I'm thinking about doing that with albums. Like, I'm going to give it a week, give my initial thoughts off the first week, and then maybe come back like 6 months down the line to see if I'm still feeling the same way. So yeah, so let's get into some things about Pink Friday 2. First of all, let's talk about the fact that it's named Pink Friday 2. I feel as if after listening to the album, along with it being called Pink Friday 2, I think Nicki was trying to do a lot of the things that she did on Pink Friday with this album, but I feel like that's not gonna work because we're in a different time, we're in a different era. Music is different, the way we consume music is different, and I would hope that Nicki herself has changed since all the way back then. Pink Friday was an iconic album in itself, her debut. By the time Nicki dropped Pink Friday, the album, sis was already everywhere. She was already all over the place, like all over the place. It felt like Nicki already had an album by the time that damn shit dropped because she was everywhere. So a lot has changed between Pink Friday and Pink Friday 2. Best to believe that. So I'm sorry, y'all, got some notes here that I kind of want to go through. I want to make sure that I'm very consistent in what I'm saying. So let's talk about the rollout of the album. So let's start off with the lead singles. The lead singles from this album was Super Freaky Girl. Red Ruby, the sleeves was from what I read, it's like a promotional single, not a real single. And then her second single was Last Time I Saw You. Now, Super Freaky Girl came out August of 2022. We are a whole year and some change later at this point. Now, I did a couple of videos on Super Freaky Girl. I actually liked the song. I know a lot of people did not, but it also became her first number one. I really liked the song. I thought it was a cute bop, and it was giving me Pop Nicki. I'm like, okay, got it. We're getting back into Pop Nicki. Got it, liked it, liked it. Wasn't my favorite song, but I damn sure liked it better than Anaconda. I hate Anaconda. I hate that song. I wish it would go in the trash. So from a pop standpoint, I didn't mind it. The sample was cool. My favorite thing about that song is, one thing about it, I'm the baddest alive. That's my favorite part. You know, the pretty bitch didn't listen until I arrived. I love that part of that song. So yeah, Super Freaky Girl was her first thing. And like I said, that came out in August of 2022. So normally when somebody drops a lead single like that, the thing about Nicki in this rollout is it's been really confusing. From an outsider's point of view, from the viewing audience, it seems as if the last couple of, maybe like last year or two, Nicki has been trying to drop an album, but the singles that she drops never really truly catches on. So, do we have a problem? What was that other song? The bussin' song, whatever. But I feel like that was her attempt at the time to try to come back and hopefully be rolling into getting out a new album. I feel as if the reason she did not continue down that road is because those singles didn't catch on the way that she probably thought they would. Now, when Super Freaky Girl came out, I think that would have been the best time for Nicki to start to roll out the album. But from what I'm hearing now about how last minute this whole album was, I don't even know if Sis had anything ready. Maybe she was just throwing that out there just to have something out there for the time being. But if it was me, once I seen how Super Freaky Girl was popping off like that, you might have wanted to drop your album not that much more after that, because then you would have been riding the high of a number one single. You would have been able to have a number one single and a number one album and all of that. So that's my opinion. But it doesn't seem like anything for this album was done until like the day before yesterday. So that's that on Super Freaky Girl. Then she dropped Red Ruby Da Sleaze. I personally didn't care for that song. It wasn't, I could definitely see how it wasn't really a single, because it felt like she was just kind of like freestyling and playing with the song, not like it was something really real, but I know the bars really ate it up. And then the last thing that she dropped was Last Time I Saw You, which I personally did not like that song at all. And obviously it was not just me. That song did not do well. It charted for all of a couple seconds and then it dropped off, which we're going to get into that again. And I have said this on many of my videos. I will continuously say it. The barbs, because let me see. Matter of fact, let me see. Is that my next point I want to roll into, or are we going to get into something else? We'll get into that part a little bit later. No, fuck it. We're here. We might as well do it. The marketing behind this. I feel like out of all of Nicki's albums that she's ever put out, this has been the most quietest drop that she's ever had. I feel like a lot of that has to do with the lack of marketing behind this. I also feel like a lot of this has to do with how many times she pushed her album back. I have it here. First, the album was supposed to drop in October. Then she pushed it back to November 17th. And then she pushed it back again to December 8th. Now, I'm going to tell you when she pushed it back the second time, I was like, oh, girl, come on. Come the fuck on. And by the time November 17th came around, it was close. I'm like, oh, I think Nicki's album's about to come out. I heard that it got pushed back again. And at that point, I no longer cared. I'm not a barb. I check for Nicki, but I'm not a barb at the same time. I'm saying, so somebody that kind of stands in the middle a little bit, I stopped caring. I said, you know what? Whenever a girl dropped the album is when she dropped the album. If I hear it, I hear it. I don't, I don't. I don't think Nicki is in a place where she can just continuously push and push and push and push and push her album back and still continuously have the same hype. A lot of people didn't even know that Nicki was dropping this album till maybe a couple of days before. And I think that's a problem. It seems to me, from what I'm listening to a lot of the interviews and stuff that she's doing, that a lot of this was really last minute, and that kind of bothers me. If you've been away for this long and you're telling your fans and everybody else that your album is going to drop in October, I would assume that by that point in time, you have everything done. My job, where I work, I'm in the marketing department of where I work. We work we technically work a whole year. We technically work a year out because we plan everything a year ahead of time. But as far as like gathering everything that we need, all of the content and stuff, we work at least 2 to 3 months ahead of time. Now, if it's a big project like that, super big, I would assume something like this. Everything is gonna be planned way ahead of time, at least a year and some change. Not to compare her to Beyonce, but Beyonce talked about how it took about 4 years for them to kind of put everything together for the Renaissance tour. That's what I'm talking about. You need to be like having a plan, sticking to it. If you needed to push it back once, that's fine, but that should have been just because this album is very, very sample heavy. So if you needed to push it back just because something wasn't going to get cleared, I get that. But I personally feel as if Nicki does not have the right team around her. That is my biggest gripe. It's less to do with Nicki and more about her team. I don't like whoever has been handling Nicki the last couple of years. Like the last two albums that she's had. I don't know who's around her, but they all need to be fired immediately. The publicist needs to be fired. The A&Rs need to be fired. Everybody around Nicholas needs to be fired. I don't trust them. They are handling they're handling my girl all wrong. And it's actually pissing me off because Nicki is very, 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 very iconic. And I don't like the way, I mean, to be quite honest, she has her own hand into how she looks, but I also don't like the way that everybody around her team, has worked with her on rolling stuff out. Now, I don't know. It could be Nicki's fault. Maybe her team would say that, but I just don't like the way that they've been handling her. It bothers me really much because I feel as if for Nicki to be the iconic person that she is, it should be more clean than this. It should be more clean. It should be more together. You should have a well-oiled, functioning machine at this point. On how you roll things out, how your album is gonna flow, and I just feel like she doesn't. So going back to the marketing, like I said, there was no real push for this album. The only real talk about this album was within the Barbs, and we'll get to that again when I talk about who is this album supposed to be for. We'll get to that. The only real thing that we really saw was Gag City, and from my understanding, Gag City was something that one of the Barbs came up with. Some of the Barbs came up with together. I think the concept of Gag City is dope as hell. And if they would have planned this out a whole lot better, or somebody else would have thought about it, or if somebody else would have seen that and been able to run with it and grab it, I feel like you could have did way more than that. Gag City, somebody took, a whole bunch of stuff about Nicki, Pink World, and just made it super, super pink. You know how many different ways you could have went with that? Baby, you could have did a whole metaverse situation for Gag City. Like somebody could have went into the VR world, created a whole Gag City. You could have did like something where you had like a VR meta like concert. Like I don't know if y'all know, but like maybe like 2 years ago, a year, however ago, they did like a Biggie VR concert, and they do a lot of concerts that's VR. Like they could have did that. They could have built you a whole entire city in the metaverse, Gag City. Have people be able to come there and stuff like that. You could have had. I seen that there was like different little sponsors and stuff and people that was featured and tagging Nicki and stuff, but you could have did more with that. It could have been like, girl, there's an Uber stand over here for Gag City. You get 15% off if you buy the album or if you do X amount of streams. Like you could have really took Gag City and made it a really big thing. It was cute for what it was, but I feel like it was way too late, and I feel like it wasn't pushed and expanded on the way that it should be. But again, from my understanding, that wasn't even something that Nicki came up with. That was something that one of the Barbs came up with. And going into the market, and I've said this before, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing in a way that Nicki's team doesn't have to do too much marketing because the Barbs do it for her. But I also think that that's bad because a lot of the times, and this is, like I said, we could just go into who is this album for. I think Nicki has become so insulated with the Barbs that she doesn't think of anybody outside of them. And if that's how she wants to continue her career, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to, like the Barbs be wanting you to get a number one and maintain a number one, because I will always say this, I stand by this. The Barbs do a good job of having Nicki show out for like first week numbers and things like that, but nothing ever sustains. Last time I saw you debuted pretty okay on the Billboard Hot 100. It dropped off absolutely immediately because you were only trying to feed just your fan base. And as big as the Barbs are as a fan base, they're not enough to sustain you on Billboard. And the only reason I keep bringing that up is because that's a big deal to the Barbs, and numbers are a big deal to Nicki. She says it all the daggone time. So like, I will say the Beehive, we don't really talk too much about numbers anymore because Beyonce has told us and showed us that she doesn't really care about that anymore. Her being on Billboard Hot 100, that don't really mean much to her anymore. It's not a goal for her. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. So that's why as the Beehive, we don't really put a lot of stock into that. But the Barbs do. Cardi fans do. There's a lot of other fans that do. So when you're not delivering in that aspect, I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to tell you why. You have to think, I keep saying this about Nicki, you have to think, if you want this to be bigger than life and whatever you're saying, you have to think outside the Barbs. No shade, but all the Barbs are never going to really tell Nicki when something is not great. Everything Nicki does, the Barbs thinks is great. So it's never going to be a time where Nicki puts out a body of work or music or anything and the Barbs are not eating it up. So all of your mention are Barbs saying, this is great, this is great, this is the best thing since sliced bread. So you're not getting any real feedback. You're not getting any real pushback, any real criticism, because you're so insulated in your own little world. The average person, like I said, outside of a Barb, didn't even really know that Nicki was dropping the album until right before. Didn't really hear a lot of the singles and things like that she dropped. Forgot about Super Freaky Girl. So if you want to do something outside of your fan base, that's important. You need to get out of Gag City. I'm sorry, you need to get out of Gag City and focus on everything and everybody and everywhere. You have to. The Barbs are gonna be the legitimate downfall of Nicki in the long run. I'm serious. As far as being talked about in the mainstream pop culture, the Barbs are gonna be her downfall because y'all never are real with this girl when something is not hitting, when shit don't look right. Y'all just let her get away with everything, and she just only takes y'all opinion into consideration when everybody, no shade, but the Barbs are yes men. They're yes men. So let's talk about the growth or the lack of growth that people keep talking about when it comes to Nicki Minaj. Here's the thing. The Barbs get upset when people say that there's no growth in Nicki. And this album was growth. This album did not have any growth from Nicki, not at all. Not from a musical standpoint, not from a lyrical standpoint. The things that are being said about, and I heard somebody say, but y'all don't say anything about men. That's not true. Right now, Nicki and Drake are in the exact same boat. In a sense of, both of y'all have been here for a really long time. Y'all are iconic people. Y'all have given us iconic records. However, we feel as a whole that both of y'all have been very, very stagnant as far as your artistry is concerned. It doesn't really seem like y'all are growing in any type of point of way. Y'all talking about the same shit. The music sounds the same. The production sounds the same. The bars sound the same. That's why Drake did a double take on y'all asses and dropped Scary Hours 2, where he dropped 4 to 5 songs of him just straight rapping and giving us what we asked for. That's why now everybody can shut up, because Drake gave us what we asked for. What we're asking for when we talk about growth in Nicki, what we're saying is that we would like to get the same way people say we want just an album of Drake straight rapping. We want an album from Nicki that is cohesive in theme, production, and storytelling. And I think it would be different if we didn't feel like she was capable of it. But that's why we're all frustrated. It's because we know that she's capable of giving us something like that. I wanted this album. Nicki, so much has happened since she dropped this album. Nicki has had a baby. Nicki has had that trash ass husband that she has. Even if I don't care about that husband, you still are married now. You are different. You are much more into like your business bag and stuff like that. You sit even more on an iconic throne now than you did when you dropped Queen. That's what I wanted to hear in this album. I wanted to hear how did Nicki grow? How did her having a baby change her life? How did her being married change her life? How has her business acumen changed? How has she can even give me a couple songs about how she feel like the industry is coming at her, and I'll even take that. But this album did not do that. So to be quite honest, the first listen of this album, I was so annoyed. I'm like, yo, all we ask from Nicki is just give me one album. Not two, not three, not four. One cohesive album. Just one. Where you're actually saying something in your raps. Like where you actually have a full body of work that flows and makes sense and is telling a fucking story. Please. So when I listened to the album from that perspective, it was complete trash to me. But I had to sit back and tell myself, you want to know what? Realistically, I don't think we'll ever get that. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get not that she can't, I just don't think she ever will. I think Nicki is very capable of giving us a cohesive album that's telling her story as a woman, as a female rapper, as a female businesswoman. I think she can give us that, but I don't think that she will. So once I took those listening ears off of expecting to hear some growth in her as a woman, her as a mother, her as a wife, her as a businesswoman, when I took those off, which is taking away my damn standards for her, I could let some songs slide through. So let's go through the track list really fast, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of each song, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Oh, before I get to the track list, when I said who is this album for, I'm not sure who this album is for. It's been marketed since she's came out. It's a little all over the place. I see you over here with Italian or Vogue, okay. Then I see you over here on the late night show, but then I see you with Kai Cenat. Then I see you with Funny Marco. I'm just a little lost on who the target audience is. And when I listen to this album, it's even more confusing. Who is your target audience? Is this album for kids? Is it for teenagers? Is it for young adults? Is it for people your age? What is the age gap on who are you targeting? Are you trying to get new Nicki Minaj listeners? Are you trying to feed the fan base that you have? Are you trying to feed the fan base from Beam Me Up Scotty days? Like, I'm confused on who this album is for. Same thing kind of that was saying, like, when I really think about it, the criticisms of Drake's album For All the Dogs and the criticisms for this are pretty damn similar. Because everybody wants to know who was that album for, too. It damn sure wasn't for all the fucking dogs. So, let's go through it. So, the first song here was Already Gone. So, on this track, I thought she was going somewhere talking about her son. That's what I thought. Because it seems like she's coming on and she says a few things about Papa Bear. I love that we still don't know that little boy's name. She says a few things about Papa Bear, but she doesn't take it no damn where. She doesn't take it anywhere. Every single time she starts to rap a few lines about whatever, then she stops and the sample takes over. That's another thing about this album. This album is crazy sample heavy. Sometimes it works. The majority of the time for me, it did not. I think the album was way too sample heavy in my personal opinion. But I was really disappointed in that first song because I thought we was going somewhere. She was talking about her son for all of a couple lines. Matter of fact, let's see if I can, because let's see if we can pull up the lyrics to some of these songs, because I want to be clear on where I'm at with this. That first daggone song pissed me off so much. It just made me mad. So this is sampling the Billie Eilish song. So literally the first verse is, you never got to meet Papa. I could lie and say I like that. He's sweet and proper. He keep mama on my toes. I needed help, you booked the flight. In 3 days, you'd meet Papa. The waiting, the gazing, the painting, the raging, the raving, the pacing. I must admit, I was breaking. I admit I was taken. I admit my heart was racing. Telephone ring, he didn't make it. I just believed you awakened. What else we got here? That's it. And then we have a little bit towards the end. Your baby's 3. He's the best. Set me free. Why didn't you come back to get me? All this guilt you carry is heavy. You already made peace with me. One day you'll have to forgive mommy. And that's it. Like, you was almost there, Nikki. You started. But that's all I got. I didn't get anything else from that daggone song. I really was like, okay, yes, she's talking about her being a mom. And then you didn't take it all the way there. You started and you went nowhere. And that was very frustrating to me, especially for that sample. You really could have went in and talked about the birth of your son. Really could have did that. You really could have really used that first song to talk about you finding out that you was pregnant, how that made you feel once you gave birth, how that made you feel now that he's 3, where are you at now? You could have literally used each verse for that. First verse when you first found out that you was pregnant. Second verse throughout your pregnancy. The third verse when he actually got here and now how you feel as a mom. You did not do that. That's what I'm looking for. Because, see, I don't give criticisms without giving solutions, okay? That's what I was always told by the therapist. If you're going to critique, give solutions at the same time. Second song, Barbie Dangerous. All you young-ass barbs that sat up there and said, because somebody tweeted and was like, if you don't know where, like, the sample is or where the flow from Barbie Dangerous is, then you're too young. And that was a barb who said that. And you got people commenting underneath, oh, it's the all eyes on me because the what's your name Nick. No. Notorious Thugs, Biggie, and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Armed and Dangerous came to then bang with us. Straight up, we know Angel us. Label us notorious. Thug ass niggas that love the bus. Strange to us, being legally gambling. Come on. I'm just sitting there trying to hands I could send high up weed and lots of gin. So much needs oxygen. If you knew what this game would do to you, been in this shit since 92. Look at the bullshit I've been through. So-called beef with you know who. Come on. Spit your game, talk your shit, grab your gap, call your click, squeeze a clip, hit the right one. Pass that weed, I got the like one. All them niggas, I got to fight one. All them hoes, I got to like one. My situation is a tight one. What you gonna do? Fight or run? That's where that flow is from. I'ma tell you like a nigga told me, cash rules everything around me. Shit, literally, niggas can't see me. Fuck it, buy the coke, cook the goat, cut it. That's what we're talking about here. So, Barbie Dangerous, she uses that flow. I said, okay, so all you're doing is a Barbie's Dreams times 2. Because if y'all know on Queen, she kind of did the same thing. She took a Biggie song and she kind of did the flow. Now, I feel like Barbie Dreams at the time made more of a hit, but that's because she was using a lot of people's names at the time. But I'm like, okay, so are we doing the same formula of just taking a Biggie song and redoing it? I don't know. Was it my favorite? Not really. It's okay the more I listen to it, but you was just really heavily relying on the sample. And that's my problem for a lot of this. I think maybe Sean C. I like him a lot from YouTube, and he does Twitch and stuff. He said this. When it comes to Nicki's album with the samples, it feels like all you did was take the sample and try to copy what the person did. You didn't take the sample and do it on your own. Like, shout out to Victoria. Put that on my mama, on my hood. I look fly. That's how you take a sample and take the nostalgia from it, but flip it as into your own. I don't think she did that with that second song. I don't. You just pretty much took the idea of Barbie Dreams of using a Biggie sample and flow, and you did the same thing here. Wasn't very much so impressed. Fuck the Club Up. I know a lot of people are liking this song. This is another song that's very heavy on the samples. It's okay to me. I find that the song is a little too short personally. I know that there was some shots at Meg on it. I feel kind of like Monique said, if you're not going to say any names, leave it on the playground. I'm kind of tired of the sub shots here and there. I'm kind of tired of it from everybody. If nobody's going to jump out the window and start saying names, I need everybody to shut up. It's tired. It's annoying. And it's giving desperate vibes, and I'm kind of over it. And to me, she didn't say shit on it. I mean, I guess that's not a song for her to really say too much on it, but it's nothing that grabbed me. Then we have Beep Beep. Beep Beep is actually the first song that I said, okay, all right. But then guess what? It was a minute. This album was too damn long. I feel like the songs that was a minute, you should have just named them interludes. They should have been called the Beep Beep interlude. And it pissed me off because that was actually, to me, so far out of the first 3 songs, a song that started to sound okay. But then you cut it off immediately. Why do that? I'm like, bruh, the one song, it seems like she's about to give me what I need. She cuts it off. Thanks a lot, Nicholas. Thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing. Falling for You. I, for the most part, can't stand when Nicki sings. It bothers me to my soul because she's not a singer, she's a rapper. Every now and again, I can do a Nicki song. My favorite song with Nicki singing is I'm not living life. I'm not living right. I'm not living if you're not by my side. Oh, that and you see right through me. How do you do that shit? How do you? That's it. Those are the only 2 songs I can take. Outside of that, I hate when Nicki sings. So the minute I heard her singing, I said, okay, well, this isn't for me. But I said, maybe because it's called Falling For You, as much as I don't like her trash ass husband, maybe this will be about her talking about falling for her trash ass husband. I don't care. I'm not here for it, but I would appreciate if she at least gives me why she liked this nigga. Nope, she did not. It was a whole lot of hoopla. Didn't really say anything. She also said at some point in time, these bitches just shake their ass for sex appeal. And what do you do, Nicholas? What do you do for sex appeal? Do you not bounce your ass? Was you not on Casanat's little stream bouncing your ass? I don't like that Nicki does this now. I've seen her do this over the last couple of years of try to take a little bit of back step from like being really sexually explicit, and that's fine. But you can't continuously be sexually explicit and then come for all of the girls. I have to strip to get the pole position or some shit like that. No, but you might as well have been a stripper in every other word. So I don't know what you're talking about. So I didn't care for that song because she didn't say shit to me on that song. Nothing. Then we have Let Me Calm Down, which is J. Cole. That first verse that Nicki did on the Let Me Calm Down song is to me what should have been on the Falling For You song. Her talking about how she met her husband, how she don't really give a fuck about what people gotta say about him. I guess maybe she must have stepped it up because J. Cole was gonna be on the song. But I'm like, you could have took this verse and put it on a Falling For You and then gave me another verse about why you fell for this fuckboy, and I would have been fine. I would have been fine. But no, J. Cole didn't have to come in and sweep up and get Nicki the hell up out of here. I loved Cole's verse. He talked about like his kind of point of view, kind of like he was the person in the middle looking at the relationship between Nicki and her husband. And he also gave like some point of views of like if he was Nicki's husband, how he would look at certain things. I thought the concept of the song was really, really dope. And I'm like, this is what I'm looking for from you, Nicki. You see what you gave me in that first verse? Why can't you give me that throughout this whole album? What's wrong? Why can't we talk about what's actually going on in your life? Then we move on to R&B. Another song I actually like. That's with her, Wayne, and Tate Somebody. I actually really like this song. Now, mind you, you just talked about like, you having sex in your relationship, but I actually appreciated your verse on this song. And I liked the melody and stuff like that. Wayne killed it per usual. A song I actually wasn't the worst thing. Pink Birthday is an interlude. Hated it. Pissed me off. Needle, which has Drake. It's just another one dance to me. I think it was like an easy thing to do is to just grab Drake and throw him on the somewhat Afrobeats Caribbean type of vibes because that's what Drake does. I do think that if it was the summertime that this song would probably be kind of big, but I think it was a very much so throwaway Drake track. That's my personal opinion. I don't think he gave you the best of what he could give you. I think it was, oh, you need a song? All right, let's just do this song real fast. No. You fell in the needle in the haystack. And here you go. No. We need C and Green type of Drake when y'all get together. When you and Wayne get together, when you and Drake gets together, we need hits. Because y'all track record is great. Y'all messed up your track record with this out with this one. It's okay. It's something to bop to while you have a cranberry and vodka in your hands. That's about it. Cowgirl. I think Cowgirl was okay. I think it gives me '09 Nicki, like when she was in her pop bag. I don't know how big this song will be now, but I'm saying like if this song would fit perfectly on the original Pink Friday. This song, Cowgirl, the flow, the hook, it would fit perfectly on Pink Friday, the first one. So I don't know if that's a good thing, because I don't know if that means it sounds just a little dated, but it's the first song that's kind of poppy that I'm like, okay, I can see this actually working. And I didn't hate it either. The Everybody song with Lil Uzi. I think most people say, and I'll say too, this is the first song I was like, okay, let me actually download. I think the sample is perfect. I think the way she used the sample was perfect. I will say, I don't know if Nicki was trying to go for TikTok vibes with this, because she swears up and down that she don't like do stuff for TikTok, but it definitely gave, the minute I heard this, oh, they're going to be fucking us up on TikTok. And I think she's smart enough to know that. I think Nicki might have stepped on her own toes, or like tripped over her own words when she spoke a little bit too early about TikTok rappers, because Ice Spice comes from TikTok damn near pretty much. And that's somebody that you worked with and you did really well with. Kai Cenat, although he's on Twitch, he's real big on TikTok too. I think she just kind of stepped over her words a little bit when she initially said that about TikTok, just because it was kind of a newer thing. But that's absolutely a TikTok challenge, hands down. Hands down. So you're a TikTok, you did something for TikTok, that's okay. I just think going forward, don't shit on it anymore. Because if you're going to do songs like this, which is clearly for TikTok, that's okay. But step in it and sit in it, sis. Number 12, big difference. I expected a whole lot more. When I heard the snippet that she did during the VMAs, I said, okay, all right, this is the Nicki we're looking for. But I was actually very much so let down by the rest of the track. I was very much so let down. The best part of the song is maybe the first verse and some change that she has on it. Other than that, I wasn't really feeling it. And I'm not mad, because it's called Big Difference. So I wasn't mad about her talking her shit on this song. Didn't bother me too much. Then we had Red Ruby. I already told you how I felt about this song. The Forward from Trini, which is her and Skillin Back, the guy who go the song bop bop bop, that the crocodile teeth song. Man, wasn't really for me. Pink Friday Girl is Super Bass Part 2. Everything about that song is Super Bass Part 2. From the melody to the legitimate flow. She just took everything from Super Bass and put it in this song. Like I said, from the hook, from the production, to the melody, to the way she flows, it's literally Super Bass Part 2, which is why I do not like it, because you're more creative than that. This is the second time now on this album that you took the same formula that you did before and you just copied and pasted it. You did it with Barbie Dangerous and you did it with this song, and I don't appreciate it, because I think you're more talented than that. That's my opinion. Then we have Super Freaky Girl. I told you how I felt about that. Bomb Bomb was it was okay, similar to Beep Beep. I kind of liked it, but it was too short for me. My Life, that song pissed me off, because again, going by the track title, I'm thinking, okay, we about to get a little bit more introspective, Nicki. Okay, no, we absolutely did not. It was you said absolutely nothing on the track, and again, you bitches is my sons. Other than the hook, you didn't really say anything. It's just all you bitches is my sons, and y'all mad that y'all not me. Sick of it. Nikki Hendrix, absolutely not. And that wasn't just her, that's Future too. You gave absolutely nothing on the track. I'm disgusted. Y'all pissed me off. Blessings. I want to say this, Nikki. Is it because Tasha Cobbs is the only person that you are friends with? Because you know Tasha Cobbs is not the only gospel singer. Or is she the only gospel singer that would agree to be on an album like this? Because I don't understand why you have to keep going back to Tasha Cobbs. You're acting like the last time y'all did a song together, it was such a big hit. It was not. So again, I'm disappointed because you just copied and pasted. You took something that you did in Queen and you copied and pasted it and brought it over here. Not on Queen, sorry. Tasha Cobbs and Nicki has done a song together before. It's not like that song was a hit. You could have found anybody else to do that song. But I will say that you were at least talking something and saying something on that record. I'll give you that. I can't remember what 21 was because I didn't write it down. And then 22 was Just the Memories. Now, I didn't necessarily care for the beat because it kind of gave me like dear old Nicki vibes. But what you were saying on that, you talked about your journey, okay, from when you began, and you kind of gave us a timeline up till now. Why couldn't you just take now, not the production, because I hated the production in the music itself, but why didn't you just take that, right, and do it for the whole album? That's all that I was asking for. What you did to wrap up this album is what I expected the whole album to be, which is you taking us through your journey since Pink Friday, where you started, everything that has happened in between your ups, your super highs, okay, your very lows, if you feeling like people coming from you, the industry bitches, from you being a mama to you being a wife to you being a business person to where you are now. I don't think that as a fan that's asking too much of Nicki. It's to give us what you gave us on that song before a whole consistent album. I don't think that's asking too much. I personally don't think I'm asking for too much. And at first I was like, maybe you're being too hard, but no. I am not going to lower my standards for Nicki because I know she can hit that bar. She just hasn't. I'm not going to lower my standards for her. Not for somebody that I know for a fact can do it. Not for somebody I know that they can do it. I refuse. Okay? So that was the album. Overall, it was 22 tracks out of the album. I downloaded 5. So in general, I'm disappointed in the album. I think that for you to push this album back 3 times, you did not deliver the way that I would hope that you have delivered. For somebody to push this album back 3 times, it should have been damn near immaculate. It is not. And it felt really, really rushed to me, which it obviously was because she even said that she was writing her verse at the last minute. And somebody said that Papa Bear's birthday was like not that long ago. So saying, oh, Papa Bear's now 3 shows you just wrote this. And it was extremely sample heavy. And I feel like the majority of the samples that you used didn't even make sense. Let me see. She used, how many samples did she use in this? She used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About damn 7 that I can count from me going off the top of my head. That's a lot. That's a lot. And the majority of those samples you didn't use correctly, in my opinion. In general, we'll see how the album will grow on me. But personally, off of a first week listen and sit with it, I'm very disappointed. I think Nicki is better than this. I want her to get a different team. And Nicki, if you want me on your team, girl, I'll help you. You need a different team around you, and you need people that are not yes men. That's just going to say everything sounds fire. We need somebody in there with critical thinking, and maybe you need somebody to help you kind of keep you on like line and focus with what you need to do for your projects. But again, I'm gonna wrap this all up by saying this. I don't think I'm asking for much when I'm asking Nicki to give me a cohesive project of where she's been, where she's going, and where she is now. I don't think that's asking too much as a Nicki Minaj fan. Not a bar, but as a fan. So y'all take this with what y'all will, and y'all get in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. What was your favorite song? My favorite song off the album is Everybody. After that, it would be the Beep Beep song. And that's all I got right now. I don't really care for anything else all like that on here. We'll keep listening to it. We'll see how we feel. But that's where I'm at. Y'all get in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. I'm out. Bye.